be sure to bring WFM to the table. Utilize us as a partner, as someone that can help better impact your agents on a day-to-day basis. You've got WFM versus operations. I really think by bringing them to the table and having the WFM team and processes and systems that are out there and allowing them to say, hey, this is kind of what we're looking at. Here's what we're seeing. Here's a great opportunity to pull people for coaching.
Yeah, when you think about like our ethos, one of the things that we really believe here at Solid Rock, you can have culture and you can have it effectively and efficiently. You can have both. Hey guys, and welcome to another WFM Tipsy Thursdays. I am your host, Winnie Nicoley, the Contact Center Whisperer, the CEO and founder of Solid Rock Consulting. So today we are talking about workforce management and its impacts on employee experience. And so I'm super excited to have the amazing Matt with us today. So, all right, let's hop right into the topic for today. WFM and its impacts on employee experience. Give me one myth or common mistake that people have when associating workforce management or not associating it with the employee experience.
I've got a couple, but I think we come across, just based on the level of impact we have right on schedules on the day-to-day lives, that we can somewhat be uncaring. All we care about is the numbers, right? I think what I've tried to establish in my career is being more of a face, right? Not just we're the WFM department, we sit in this fishbowl, or we're out telling people, hey, you're an ACW for too long, or hey, you've been on break for 22 minutes, we got calls holding, that type of stuff. I think that's one of the things I think that we really tried to battle was the perception of what it is WFM does and why we're here and how we help impact your work-life balance. Taking that understanding, as I alluded to in the beginning of this, was we have a lot of that impact, right? We have the scheduling, the breaks, the lunches, the learning breaks they have and things of that nature, and really trying to instill some of that creativity into, hey, we're gonna have a culture of creativity. We have a culture of not saying no, and finding ways to help support the frontline staff. It was either by doing roundtable and helping them understand who we are and what we do and why we're here. We're not here to tell you that you've been on break for 27 minutes. We need you back on the phone, right? Or, we're doing this to punish you. We're doing it because we have a business to run. I think people crave accountability. Just from the experience I've had. But I think really it's that myth to me is that we're uncaring. We're just a back office department that's there to make your life miserable.
Hey guys, listen. So y'all know I'm a data nerd, and 88% of you guys that are watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you are finding value in this content, can I ask you to do me a favor? Could you subscribe to our channel? What this allows us to do is to continue to keep adding value, bringing insights and the latest in trends around customer experience, employee experience, business profitability, workforce management. Thank you so much for being here. You are truly valued. We appreciate if you would subscribe and follow us for more information. What is one of the tips or strategies that you could leave with someone who's maybe new in their career to workforce management, or organizations that are like, we really want to focus on employee experience and we want to do so efficiently and effective with effectiveness?
I'd probably go with two, right? I think the first one is, if you're kind of newer to that environment, be curious, learn all you can about behind the scenes. How does this system work? How does that one work? And what impact does it have on your schedule, on your optimization? And then the second thing I think I would say is be sure to bring WFM to the table. Utilize us as a partner, as someone that can help better impact your agents on a day-to-day basis. It's always been this, I kind of go back to another common myth, is that it's always us versus them, right? You've got WFM versus operations. They've got their goals and their things they want to accomplish from a coaching and development, and we're telling you, no, you can't do this because we've got calls holding, or we're telling you to do this because the forecast doesn't allow. I really think by bringing them to the table and having the WFM team and processes and systems that are out there and allowing them to say, hey, this is kind of what we're looking at. Here's what we're seeing. Here's a great opportunity to pull people for coaching, or here's a great opportunity to, have them do some shadowing and some career opportunity, just different development type things. It's going to help them coach and bring the best from their employees. I mean, you talk about schedule alignment, right? I mean, coach them to, when you do a shift bid, if it's metric based, how do you motivate them from a metric perspective to get to where they need to be, right? So they can get a better shift. I mean, I've seen this so many times, and we could probably spend hours. I know we don't have that kind of time, but my biggest thing is always bringing WFM to the table. There's so much knowledge and I think care that we bring to an operation that's going to impact your team's ability to be happier in their roles and their current jobs.
Yeah, when you think about like our ethos, one of the things that we really believe here at Solid Rock is a personal belief, a belief of mine is that you can have culture and you can have it effectively, like inefficiently. You can have both. And so I think back to one of the points that you were making earlier about one of the myths is that workforce management is a lot of times seen as that, department that sits off and is playing an evil game of how many no's can I get? And that's not the case. However, if workforce management is not brought to the table, if they are not intentional, thank you. If they are not intentional about making sure that they are building those relationships with the operations team and they're showing up to say, how can we do this? I used to have a saying at United Healthcare, so I was there as well, and how can we say yes? Not how can we say no, but how can we say yes?
Right.
Figure it out. Figure out how we can say yes, because our goal is to be a good partner. And so I love the tips that you shared around figuring out like schedule alignment. How do we, if you're going to be doing shift bids and it's performance based, how do we make sure that we are not only motivating, but equipping and empowering agents or employees across the board, because sometimes it's not just agents, it might be back office folks, but how are we empowering them to make sure that they are capable and they have the skill to hit the performance in the first place, so that they can be enabled to have those types of shifts. I think those are types of things when we're thinking about workforce management and its impacts on employee experience. You nailed it, Matt. So good. Hey, transformative leader, listen, have you grabbed your copy of WFM Go Beyond? Go and grab your copy at WFMGoBeyond.com. WFM Go Beyond is sectioned into two sections. Section 1 is the foundation and the fundamentals of workforce management. The core 4, you've heard me talk about this: data gathering, forecasting, scheduling, intraday. But section 2 is the part that I get super excited about, especially for 2025, because we are pushing and encouraging and challenging leaders to go beyond and push into transformative impact. And section 2 is going to do that to help you understand how you tie your WFM strategy into your CX initiatives, your EX initiatives, and business profitability goals. So if you're an operational leader, executive, a WFM leader that has a operations efficiency goal, okay, and you want to drive transformative impacts, WFM Go Beyond is your resource. So go to WFMGoBeyond.com and grab your copy today. Bye. What is another nugget that you would like to share, or something that I may not have asked you that you would like to share with the audience today?
I think I really would just reinforce the idea of bringing WFM to the table. I mean, I've been in so many roles where it was supported and it was welcomed, but there was this stigma around what it is that we do, right? Again, just go back to, I use the word control because we do. I mean, you got to align shifts, you got to run a business, you have to make sure that you've got the right people in the right place at the right time. That's the whole ethos of what WFM is, right? But I think I would just go back to reiterating the two things I mentioned, was bringing them to the table and having WFM help you optimize your business. Because I really do think, just as I've seen in the last couple of roles, people crave accountability and they want that structure in place, although they may rebel against it in some way, shape, or form. But I really think that having WFM have a pulse on the business and what your utilization is, what your optimization is running, looking at the bigger factors, right? Your availability and occupancy, that's going to inform your forecast. That's really going to be things you can keep an eye on to help drive the business and keep your employees happy. I mean, I've seen it time and time again where, hey, so-and-so came to me and said, I feel like I'm doing all the work. How can you help me? I mean, my first response back to them is, have you talked to your manager, right? Have you explained this? Have you, brought that to them? But again, to me, I think those are the important pieces of just reiterating kind of those previous points about bringing us to the table, humanizing the WFM department to show that we are human. We're going to make mistakes. We're not going to build things that are going to be completely aligned with what you're trying to accomplish. But having that alignment of, it's us and not a we versus them.
Yeah.
I think that to me is the mentality. You're going to get a lot more. It's with the age old, adage of you get more bees with honey, right? Or something along those lines. But I think
Yeah.
that to me is just having them at the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so, so much for coming to hang out with us today.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. That was so, so amazing. I absolutely love. Y'all already know how I feel about CX, customer experience, right? I'm always saying if you don't have an employee experience strategy, your CX strategy is trash, which is why when we think about workforce management and being known as the WFM people think that our secret sauce is that we're ninjas in workforce management. And we are good. Don't get me wrong, right? But what makes us really unique is our ability to align those CX and EX goals to the WFM discipline, making sure that you have that culture and you have efficiency at the same time. So I love the tips that Matt shared around the myths of workforce management is not here to say no. We're trying to figure out how we can say yes, right? How we can empower and enable the business to meet its goals and also enable culture inside of the organization. I love the tip that Matt shared around figuring out how we ensure that we are empowering, equipping, engaging agents so that they are able to hit the goals, especially with the example he used around shift alignments and shift bids, chef's kiss. Again, amazing. So anyway, I hope that this WFM Tipsy Thursday tip was insightful and helpful to you. You already know what to do. If you have a topic that you would like to cover, shoot me a message. Y'all don't be shy, okay? Until next time, y'all go be great and let's make impact. See y'all soon. Bye.